Hey friends, girlies, gays, and theys, and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Guys, I'm so excited for today. This is a video I wanted to do for so many years. Today, we are gonna be doing an in-depth, step-by-step, super beginner-friendly how to feminize your face with makeup. I feel like I'm sort of an expert on the matter. I have been identifying as a trans woman for 10 years, and I always presented very, very feminine. I feel like on the way of my transition, I have picked up so many little tips and tricks in order to make how you feel on the inside come on the outside. Also, as an older trans person, I'm 29 now, I know. I would really love to create this guide for someone who's potentially a little bit younger and maybe it's their first time wearing makeup and you wanna try to feel a little bit more comfortable in your own body, in your own look. I can 100% relate to that. I remember when I came out 10 years ago as a trans woman, I had no idea how to use any makeup. I had to steal my mom's makeup and my sister's, and then I would experiment a little bit with it and it would look ridiculous. And this video today is not just for trans women or trans people in general. Even if you're a cis woman, you can use some of these tips and tricks to enhance potentially your already feminine features. Huge disclaimer before we begin. No, as trans people, we don't own the world femininity or masculinity. We don't owe the world anything, to be honest. If you're a trans woman and you don't look feminine, you don't have to look feminine. People come in all shapes and sizes in this world. There are also many cis women in the world that have very masculine features and they're celebrated for their beauty daily. So please take this video with a grain of salt because these are only tips and tricks that you can use only if you want to for yourself. Now that we're done with the disclaimers, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to support me if you want to. And now let us begin with the tutorial. The first thing that you can do to feminize your face before even doing your makeup: hair. Unfortunately, long hair is something that's most of the time associated with women and femininity. Obviously, yes, I know men can have long hair, women can have short hair, but typically, stereotypically, in general, women have long hair and it's considered as a feminine trait. So what are we gonna do today? We're gonna add some fake hair. I got a few clipping hair extensions, so I'm just gonna pop them right in. Now let's begin with the face. Even though we're gonna cover most of it with makeup, it's still important to have a very good base to begin with. I'm gonna start with a little moisturizer. This one is from Tatcha, but honestly, you can use any moisturizer that suits your own skin type. I personally have a combination skin, so this one is water-based and it's very lightweight and it just feels really nice on the skin and it's very hydrating. The primer, I really recommend a really good gripping primer because obviously we're going to be doing a lot of correcting, contouring, we're going to be using a lot of things on the face. So this one from NYX, it's actually very inexpensive, but it works amazingly. It's like face glue, as you can see, but it creates a really sticky surface on the face, and all the products we're going to use on top are going to stick really, really nicely, and they're not going to go anywhere for the whole day. Now, this is a really important step when it comes to feminizing the face with makeup, especially in trans people. Sometimes we can have a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow because some of us have a beard. So we're going to be using a little bit of a color corrector. Now, this is in an orange salmony color, and it's going to counteract the bluish gray tones that people that have a 5 o'clock shadow usually have here. You can also use this under your dark circles a little bit to neutralize the color. Let me show you. This one is from Maybelline. You only need like a couple dots and then just blend it on the skin. Try as much as possible to blend this only on the problematic area. I have really dark circles, so I'm gonna try to neutralize them as well a little bit. And we're done with color correcting. I know it might seem a little bit crazy, but trust the process. Thumbnail done. Before we put on any foundation, we really need to set this so it doesn't mix with our foundation, otherwise we're gonna look like Oompa Loompa. So take a tiny bit of loose powder, very little, and just set the areas that we applied the color corrector. Now, when it comes to the base, we all have different preferences when it comes to it. I'm an non-binary trans person, so some days I want to look a bit more masculine, some days I want to look super feminine, so these days, I match my foundation to the occasion. Today, we're doing a full glam feminizing look, so I'm gonna go with a more full coverage foundation, but again, if you don't have much to cover, you don't need it. However, one thing I'm gonna say is that if you're trying to feminize your face as a trans woman or as a trans person who might have facial hair and you have recently shaved, you might have a little bit of texture on your skin. So it's really important that you use a more matte foundation. If the foundation is really shiny, it's gonna exaggerate all the texture of your hair. So keep that in mind. This is also another affordable one. It's one of my favorites from Makeup Revolution. It's called Skin Silk. I'm just gonna add like 2 pumps of this on the back of my hand. I really like with foundation, I really like to apply it with my finger first. There's just something about applying foundation with your fingers. You just warm up the product and you really work it into the skin. And I feel like at the end, it looks so much better on the areas where we put the color corrector. I'm instead tapping instead of swiping, so I don't move the product. And after I've warmed it up with my fingers, I like to take a wet beauty sponge and just tap it on top, just for like an extra flawless and airbrushed finish. We have now arrived at my favorite point of any makeup look, and that is contouring. And that's why it's such a powerful tool to transform your features completely. And today it's gonna be our best friend at feminizing our features. Now, again, I wanna make another disclaimer because with contouring, I'm gonna make a lot of generalizations when it comes to face shapes of men and women. These are only, again, generalizations, and there are, of course, men with masculine faces or feminine faces, women with masculine faces. Our world is very colorful, okay? There's everything, but today we're talking about basic generalizations and how we can achieve a softer look in general, okay? So if this doesn't apply to you, don't be offended at me, okay? So with your contour, you want to use, I don't know if you can see this, but it's like a very almost gray, cool toned color. This one is from Sephora collection, also quite affordable. The natural shadows that we have, all of us have on our faces, tend to be more on the cooler side. Warmer tones are for bronzer, and we're gonna get there later. But for now, for the contour, we really need that nice cool toned color. So first things first, men, people who are born male, sometimes our heads are a little bit bigger than our cisgender female counterparts. Now, let me give you an example. Me and my partner, my boyfriend, he's a trans man, and we always joke about how my head is double the size of his. It's really funny, but with contour, all we want to do basically is make everything smaller and rounder, because women, cisgender women, tend to have more softer features. Men tend to have more angular, angry and square faces in general. Start with the jawline, which I feel like is the most important. Normally, you would go and do this kind of triangle to contour. We're not gonna do that today because that's only gonna create more sharpness. We instead wanna go here. I need my mirror for this. We need to go here and create softness, like a soft circle right here. Same thing on the other side. If you have big cheeks like me, you can do like a little bit of contour right here, but definitely don't drag it down here, because in general women have more face fat on their face, and we really want to keep the plumpness and like the cheeks as much as possible. Now going on to the nose, men tend to have bigger noses and longer noses, so what we want to do is basically go on the tip underneath, and by putting a little bit of contour here, look, it already looks a lot shorter. We want to create the illusion of like a button nose. I'm gonna put a little bit of contour on the sides. My nose is also broken, so as you can see here, it's really difficult for me to contour, but keep your contour a little bit wider as well. You don't want your nose to be completely pinched in, because that's like something that I see a lot of drag queens do this trick. It's a little bit extreme. You want to keep it natural if possible. And then what really sells the illusion for the button tip is if you go here and you make a little circle just like this. You want to try to make your forehead a little bit smaller. You can add a little bit of contour here and a little bit of contour here. This will give you the illusion of a smaller forehead. Finally, a feminine characteristic is having a round and small chin. A masculine characteristic is having a big, strong chin. You know, Superman on the American comic books, back in the day, he used to have like a massive chin because that's the characteristic of like a big, strong man. We don't want that today. We want a tiny little feminine chin. I have quite a big chin, so this is important for me to do when I want to feminize my face. So I go in like this, create a little circle again, and that's really gonna make the chin look smaller and feminine. Now let's get on to blush. A lot of people nowadays, they tend to put the blush up here to create a lifted look, but that's actually, again, a masculinizing effect and not a feminizing one. I'm gonna smile. Don't put it all the way down to where you smile, because look, when I drop my smile, it goes from here all the way down to here, so you're gonna end up with blush all the way down here. So instead, I'm smiling, I'm putting it a little bit higher than the apples of my cheeks. Same thing on the other side. You really want to make sure that you blend this right into here, almost on your nose, I would say, because this way it creates such a nice full cheek and like such a youthful feminine look. I'm now also gonna go ahead and blend the contour that we did before. Make sure your brush is distributing the contour in a nice round and soft way. We want to make the jaw smaller and the face round and cute. We're moving now to concealer. This one specifically is more for brightening and enhancing rather than concealing imperfections. It depends on your skin type. If you have acne or other irritations, maybe you want to use a more full coverage foundation. Everybody puts concealer on the under eyes because we all want to look like we had a lot of sleep. For feminizing purposes, I would say basically making the contour look even more chiseled. I really like to drag the concealer up like that a little bit. Now, I personally have a really big scar here under my nose from a trans surgery, a feminizing surgery that I had years ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit of concealer. The most important concealer placement, in my opinion, though, is right here in the middle of my manly brow bone. Men typically tend to have a really strong brow bone. I don't know why this is the case. I think it's for evolutionary purposes so that men look more scary and like more intimidating. But yeah, women don't have that as much. Women have a much more soft brow bone. The light is gonna reflect away and this surface is gonna look much more smooth. I also like to do a tiny bit here. I don't know why, I just like this one. Blend, blend, blend. This is how everything looks all blended in. I feel like we're looking really good. Then I like to take a setting powder. This is my favorite setting powder of all time that I use every single day. It's from Huda Beauty, the Easy Bake. Put some on the powder puff like this, and I tap the excess on the back of my hand, and I go right under my eyes. And I'm basically just setting everything and locking in all the hard work that we've done so far. Now, all that powder has made us look a little bit like a ghost, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of a bronzer. It's the NYX Cosmetics Buttermelt Bronzer. These are amazing because they do feel like butter and they have a little bit of shimmer. They're so cute. I can't wait to show you. So I'm taking like a brush like this, and again with our bronzer we really want to help what we did underneath the powder with all the contouring and the blush. So we want to put it right here on top of the apple of the cheek to get that full and like youthful girly look. A little bit on top of the nose. The bronzer in general goes where the sun would naturally hit you and give you like a little bit of a redness on your face, and it helps make the forehead shorter. And again, I'm sculpting that jaw a little bit in a very round and soft motion. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of powder blush on top of this. And look at that, it creates such a nice two-color effect with the bronzer. And again, bring it all the way under the eyes to create that fuller cheek and that youthful feminine effect. I also find that if you put a little bit on your nose, just like this, it's also very cute and like it gives you like the sunburned almost kind of look. I really like it. We're done with the base now. I'm really excited because it's time we do my second favorite part of the makeup look, which is the eyeshadow. I'm gonna show you today something a look that I've been doing for 10 years, honestly, that I have found gives me the most feminizing effect on my eyes. And for my cis girlies out there, you can use this look when you wanna look more youthful, when you want your eyes to be bigger and brighter. The concept is we want to make our eyes appear bigger and brighter. I have this eyeshadow palette right here. It's also very, very inexpensive from Beauty Bay, which happens to be my favorite brand for eyeshadow palettes. Now this one, as you can see, has a lot of colors, but they were mostly gonna use the neutral shade. I like to take, oh, actually, this one doesn't have the color I need. I need this one, the little one, same brand again. This one just has only 9 shadows. So I really like this really neutral off-white beige color. I like to take that with my finger, very simple. I just put that on the front of my eyelid. Now this immediately opens up the eye and creates a brightening effect. It's really important, in my opinion, to use this kind of like bone neutral color instead of white, because the white reminds me of back in the 80s and 90s where they used to do like white and gray eyeshadow. I don't like it very much. I feel like it's a bit harsh. I really think it will look much more feminizing if you do like this cream color. I'm now gonna go ahead and take this really nice neutral brown color and I'm gonna apply this at the corner of my eye. Women tend to have, as I said, rounder eyes and features in general. Men to have more squinted and narrow eyes. I would really recommend with the eyeshadow to try to make it as round as possible. So I have like this really big, I don't know if you can see, fluffy brush, and I'm just working this nice and soft. And I also, look, I like to bring it all the way into my contour, like just a little bit for some cuntiness. I just went ahead and did my other eye as well, and this is how the eyeshadow should look. I don't really recommend eyeliner when it comes to feminizing the face. I feel like when you do a big black line, it's very harsh, very masculinizing actually, and on a lot of trans people and people with masculine features, it's not gonna look very good. However, there is a way to do it that's very beginner friendly and it will give you kind of like a softer look. So let me show you that way that I've been doing for many years. So I take an eyeliner that's not actually black. It's an off black dark brown color. This one is from KVD. You see that my eye goes up and then it goes down. So I just want to put the liner on this little space here, just filling up the space. On the way out, I do the same thing. Your bottom lashes, you can just follow them upward like this. And then you just connect back. Just like that. And just like that, we got our wing. Now let's make it a little bit softer with some eyeshadow. A brush like this one. So it's a little thin, flat brush, like a brown, dark brown color. You can even get like an even darker like this one. I'm gonna just mix the two right here. And then you're gonna go on top of the eyeliner you just did. Actually, diffusing the edges of the liner. As I said 26 billion times on this video, we don't want any harsh lines. We want soft, diffused, round, and cute. I'm gonna go ahead and do my other eye, and then I'm gonna show you what we're gonna do under the eye. Take a little bit of a dark brown eyeshadow, like the one you used on top, and go underneath. And you just wanna follow basically the wing that we did on top. I want you to stop where your pupil is. I don't want you to bring the eyeshadow forward at all. This whole front area, we need to keep bright. It instantly opens up the eye and it gives you like kind of like a dull-ish effect. Now for the front of the eye, I want you to take a really nice shimmery color. It doesn't have to be this one. You can use any like white or really light shimmer color that you have. We're gonna go right into the inner corner of the eye right here and make it really nice and bright, just like that. But let me tell you guys why we do this and why this is such a nice feminizing trick for our makeup. So basically, men in general have a closer distance between the two eyes. I also, well, I was born a man, so I have a very short distance between my eyes. Women in general, their eyes are more further apart. So by putting light in here and darkness on the outside, will create this illusion effect that our eyes are more far apart, like more spaced out. Now with the same shimmer, I like to go on the tip of my nose and highlight a little bit here. You can also go right here at the bridge of the nose, and now it just looks so cute. Now to finish up with the eyes, I want you to take a black eyeliner and I want you to line the bottom of your eyes. Just like we did with the eyeshadow, I want you to line only the outer half. I'm gonna do the same on the other side too. Now the next step, I would say it's just as important as when we put our hair on, when you wanna make your face look more feminine, and that that is of course mascara. So I got one of my favorites here, is the NARS Climax mascara, but honestly you can use any mascara as long as you curl your lashes. Most mascaras are gonna do the trick. So let's go right ahead, and I am curling my lashes to the extreme. And when I do this type of makeup with my mascara, I really try my best to focus on the front, because people always neglect that part of the lashes. Everybody goes and applies mascara on the outside like this, but what about those little hairs right here on the front? There we go. That's crazy. Look at the before and after. And then I'm also gonna apply a little bit of mascara like we did before, only on the outer corner of my eyes, just like that. Wow, this before and after is actually insane. Look at that, before, after. Look, mascara makes such a dramatic difference. Now, depending on if you want to wear false lashes, you can do a second coat of mascara, but for me, I'm just gonna stop here because we're gonna put some nice falsies on top. I'm gonna use this pair right here. This one is from Tati Lash, and I really like it because it's not very big. As you can see, they're quite small and very wispy. I feel like this is the best type for a more feminine and natural effect. If you use too big of a lash, I feel like, again, it's gonna give a little bit drag queen, and we don't want that. We wanna keep things nice and lifted and feminine, but not too much. Lashes are done. Now let's move to the brows. Eyebrows, again, are very much a personal preference. However, in general, women tend to have thinner and naturally soft and arched eyebrows. Today, I'm gonna use a little bit of the NYX brow glue, and I'm not gonna do much on mine because as you can see, they're quite thick. So there's not much I can realistically do. I'm just gonna groom them a little bit and give them a little bit of an arch. The reason I don't pluck my eyebrows to be thinner is because I'm a non-binary trans person, and sometimes I really like looking masculine, especially on my day-to-day life. I like to do like a little boy look, so I really like to have the thick, bushy eyebrow to work with. Honestly, if you have really thick and masculine brows like I do, I would really recommend that you don't fill them in with any product, because that can draw even more attention to them and make them look darker. Just use a little brow gel and groom them nicely and just leave them be. Otherwise, you can always just pluck them to make them look thinner. We're almost done. Let's get into the lips, another favorite of mine. Now, here's an interesting fact about the lips of men and women. Women usually tend to have a shorter distance between the top lip and the nose. As you can see, for me, I do have quite a long distance right here, which is a very masculine trait. We're gonna take a lip liner and we're gonna transform and overline our lips a little bit in a way that feminizes them. I'm gonna take this one, is from Morphe. It's called Sugar Pie, and it's a very nice neutral brown color. And I'm gonna overline my Cupid's bow just like that. I have done it quite a bit. You can do it less if you want, but this will give you the most dramatic feminization effect. And as you can see, I have literally shortened the distance between my lip and my nose by a few centimeters just by doing this little trick. Then, to make it not look like a mustache, because when you overline your lips, sometimes it can look really funny. What I do is, instead of overlining the whole of my lips, I only overline what I just showed you. And on the rest of the lip, I just follow the natural pink of the lips. So no overlining at all on the sides. A little trick I can give you is to stop the lining at the bottom about here. You don't need to take it all the way out, because when you have a shorter bottom lip and a wider top lip, it's also a very feminizing effect. Another female characteristic is having a less wide kind of like mouth lips. So if you make your lips less wide, it's also very feminizing because it also makes them look taller. I have this really pretty nude liquid lipstick from Huda Beauty. Honestly, what color you use is personal preference, but I think that especially with this look, a nice light neutral color, look how pretty this is. It works the best. Bring it all the way up to where we did the overlining. If you use a shiny lipstick, it's gonna give away all the overlining we did. When you use a matte one, it doesn't reflect the light so much, so the whole area looks more matte and it looks more believable. You can go with your beauty blender towards the end and blur the edges of the bottom lip, and that makes it look more pouty and more feminine. To finish things up, I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of highlighter. This is from Fenty Beauty, the Glow Bomb. Look how disgusting this is, because I've been using it for now 3 years. I don't even know how long, but yeah, it's never going to end, I think, and it's my favorite highlighter in the entire world. So you can go ahead and add a little bit here. If you want to be super extra, you can add a little bit right here on the top of your eyeshadow. Finishing up with the setting spray so your makeup can last all day. I'm specifically using from Makeup Revolution the super dewy one because we did so much matte makeup, so many powders. This one is gonna give us a little bit of a natural finish towards the end. Nothing feels better than setting spray, honestly. It makes that feeling of heaviness of the makeup just go away. And this is the final look. Final tip now that we're done with our makeup. If you were thinking about changing your hair, try curtain bangs because look how nice and feminine they make my face once I style them a little bit. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a very in-depth and detailed how to feminize your face with makeup tutorial. I have always wanted to make a video like this to share all this knowledge that I've learned throughout 11 years of my transition, and hopefully I'm gonna be able to help some of you if you are a trans woman and it's your first steps trying makeup for the first time, if you're any type of queer person that wants to feminize their face, even if you're a cis woman who wants to enhance her already feminine features. And I really hope that this video has been helpful to you. Let me know if you guys like the look. What was your favorite tip that I mentioned? I'm really curious to know. Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm gonna be doing so many more long proper YouTube videos. I'm gonna be trying for 2 long proper YouTube videos every week, so hit that subscribe button, put the notification bell on, because you're gonna be hearing from me again very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I love you so much. I'm gonna see you on the next one. Bye.